And thank you, Dr. Shaule, for elaborating on the information about resilience and its importance. So, Rama, I really wouldn't want to demean the this emotion or this thought that, why in this generation and why not before, because in every generation, and this is going to be a discussion and a debate between generations, that the senior generations or the previous generation will always have high expectations from the younger generation, the next generation, and the present generation will always have the same expectation, high expectation, and also hold us responsible for what's happening or for what we could not do enough. And I'm a teacher SDG ambassador, so the Native American quote on we inherit this world from we borrow this world from our younger future generation, and we don't inherit it from our ancestors, that kind of a dialogue. So the need for resilience, well, yes, definitely, because the COVID-19 has taught us many lessons. It has been a great learning journey, and the disruption phase that we have seen. And while we all are here and we have not broken apart, we are still together, shows that how resilient human beings by nature are. And we are talking about the children because that is our first audience, that is our main audience, that's what we are responsible for. So we have seen that as much as the world, the economy, of course, is a separate take altogether. But how well the schools pivoted when the entire disruption happened at the beginning of in January, when we started hearing about it, and then in March when we actually were told to go online. It was absolute new. It was something really different, absolutely new. But how quickly the schools pivoted and shifted from face to face to online, and then our children. Imagine a KG child, a KG1 who's starting the education. It's the first step into the school. The parents are like, they're walking with trepidation that how this entire thing is going to be. And everybody was looking forward to starting school in April, and then bang, we're all online. But these children have marveled us. They have left me speechless. The KG, especially the KG department of the schools world over. This was, I think, the principals over here will agree with me, that because this was the age group that all of us were most worried about. And this is the age group that has wowed us. This department has wowed us, because the way the teachers handle these children who were difficult to handle in the class in the first place, and how beautifully they handle them in an online environment. And the children themselves, we're talking about students over here, how cool it was to see them reporting on time, at the hour that was they were supposed to give their registrations in the morning for class attendance, and then how the work and all that. So we know that the children they have a lot of tenacity, and I wouldn't call it like a push, but it's a gentle nudge. It is a firm guiding hand. And there's something like the self-preservation is a very inherent trait in human beings. And this self-preservation children are born with. However, some are, they readily, the leadership qualities that we see, and some require a little space to become aware of that potential, become aware of that preservative nature. So this need for resilience, our children are smart. They definitely require, again, I don't want to, again, the dialogue over here would be that the olden times and the present times and how the world has become and all that stuff. So resilience will always be needed. It's just that why so we are talking about it in the present circumstances, because of COVID-19. What we have seen, we've seen the world changing. We've seen how difficult we thought it was, and then we've also seen that how beautifully we've managed everything, the entire scenario of navigation through the online platform. The dialogue, I would say, would be that how do we nurture this in the students? How do we make them realize that this is something that everybody has it. We just need to recognize it and then we need to create that space around the children, about our amongst our learners, that they continue to sort of grow and flourish in the school environment. So my take would be that yes, resilience, yes, we are born with it, but then of course there's some will always require little help. But overall, our children have a lot of tenacity. They just require a firm guiding hand to help them reach their destination. Teenagers are teenagers, children are children, and the children are children everywhere. Cultural differences will always be there. Cultural conditioning that children get, that is what makes the entire world so colorful, and diversity. When we talk about diversity, that's where we all, we are unique in ourselves, with our tradition and cultures, and the upbringing that we get, owing to the countries and countries cultural upbringing that we have. Having said that, kids are kids, and the anxiety of a 13-year-old is same whether the child is that young girl or a boy is in USA, or is in Eastern Europe, in Africa, or in India, or any part of the world. So the nurturing that the child requires is the same. All adolescents, they go through the same strife, that storm and strife of an adolescent life. So children basically are children. And even teachers, like I have had the pleasure of and the sort of the honor of working in different places, and also I've traveled a lot with my MUN. I have traveled a lot, so that has given me access to teachers, or rather, the group, the professional learning network that I have built because of also my SDG work. And before that, when I traveled with my students, and I met the teachers from the different parts of India when I was in India, and we all, when we got into the staff room and we shared our worries and our concerns, and just shared anecdotes, the one thing that is the common strand again comes across, that the teachers have the same fears, they have the same concerns, they have the same challenges all around the world when they're dealing with the children. And especially, one particular class which sort of has a very common thread amongst all the schools around the world, the age group is grade 9. And this has been a very interesting conversation I've had with teachers around that. I don't know, something is there that all across, and because also at that time I was teaching grade 9, so conversations that, yes, so to answer your question, children are children. They just require that, like Dr. Kunal said, that, I have a little disagreement. I mean, I disagree with your thought that it has to be built. I say that self-preservation is inherent, and therefore that itself is resilient. So when I say that children are born with it, and some require that little light around them to realize that, yes, this is something that is there, we are born with, and we need to take it forward. So my experience has been that, and I would just like to take a little time over here to sort of share how what my experiences with my children have been. Like as a sportsman myself, as a student, I have traveled the length and breadth of my country, and we traveled in those times. We many times traveled without reservation. So this was like, we were going for nationals, and we would just be asked to, we literally were sometimes throwing our bags into our traveling kits into the trains and jumping in. Many times, not many times, but yes, once or twice the experience has been that we've missed our train, and then that entire reservation bit, and we've just sat in a janta compartment and traveled 1 day or 2 days of travel, and just sitting like that. That experience has been such an important experience in building my personality, my experiences, my response and reactions to certain situations. So when I, as a teacher, and I, as a school leader, I'm bringing all those experiences to my school, to my classrooms. So what I learned from my teachers' interaction with me, my coach, when we travel for nationals, and those experiences became such important experiences in shaping my personality, that I knew that these were, again, not in the same experience lot, not making the children travel without reservation, but yes, those experiences in different situations were very important for children to have. So when I traveled with my students, when I took them for national MUNs and international MUNs, we've traveled to UK, we've traveled to US. I mean, I would like to show off a little bit over here, if I may, that some of my children, like my kids, have gone to the UN headquarters, and one of my students in that team was selected to address the General Assembly. So for that 13-year-old to be there in the UN hall, nothing beats a 13-year-old's life in a 13 years old life, like, you know. So these experiences, when I travel with them, and when I be with them in that same room, and we are sharing information, we're sharing experiences, all that, to what Mrs. Shinde has said and what Dr. Kunal has said about engaging with the children, you know, that connect and that teacher-student connect is so important. Otherwise, schools would be what? It would be just an institution where the children come in the morning, the teacher. So we are just passengers. We don't want that. We are nation builders. Schools, teachers, schools are those institutions, and teachers are nation builders. So that's very, those 12 years of formal education and +2 when we have KG. So those 14 years are the most formative foundational experiences for children. And these are the best years, have to be the best years of a child's life. So to create that atmosphere in the school where the child finds himself, herself to be safe, non-judgmental, and has this space around to expand the wings, and the teachers become the wind beneath their wings. And like the circle that you showed, the ball that you showed, and you had all the entire emotional ambit of, you know, empathy and creativity, problem solving. All those schools are places to nurture that, to ensure that we give those experiences to our students. So when I came to UAE, I came to New Indian Model School, Dubai, and I was the head of section of girls wing. When I came in, the girls were not allowed to step out of the school, metaphorically, for any co-ed competition. And when I came in as a SDG ambassador, goal number 5, this was completely unacceptable. I pushed walls, I had to bang on doors, but I made sure that my girls got the experience. And the very first year, they traveled to NASA for a young scientist program. And there has been no looking back. So then the entire school saw the girls, you know, the place where at one place when they were just huddled in the classrooms and not allowed for any other interaction, here were the girls, then they were excelling in everything and anything and everything that they went out to. So that nurturing again, and like Dr. Kunal, though I don't agree with that it's sorry, about a woman stepping into a family, and you know, that's her resilience. But yes, in many ways, let's not be I'm not going to be very myopic about it, and say yes, by and large, yes, the environment that we give to our girls, and you know, how the conditioning that we give to them, definitely. So that resilience building has foundations there in the schools, where we create opportunities for the children, and we ensure that our children are self-aware and become confident learners, confident human beings. Because then again, like Ms. Seema said, that when the child takes the final step from that final threshold of the school, and if I may call the child the final product, but inviting, of course, arguments on this, but then just for the bit, like, you know, when we say that this is the child that now our students are leaving school, so that we need to ensure that the children are well equipped to live independent lives. And here is that entire, again, the argument or the conversation that we are having today about giving that environment and all the skills, equipping the child with the skills, and the mother skill that Sharbri so beautifully said about. This is the empathy, and the first one is, Sharbri?
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. And everything inside that.